Looks like we're live. Let's see the confirmation on our side. You got your Rumble up?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh, damn. Wow, that went off just like that. Finally. Oh, wow. Usually I have to keep refreshing my feed like 20 times, and I'm
Oh
already
yeah,
through the second ad.
mine's up too. Boom.
Yours is up. All
That
right.
came
Cool.
that came right up.
Oh, yeah. It just came right up.
No ads for you.
Oh, dear Lord. Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the PewMongous Podcast. My name's Joe. I'm from Shooting Gallery on YouTube, and this is my co-host.
Dark with DLD After Dark, and I need to raise my desk up a little bit. Cranky, 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 cranky. What's up, guys? It's Dark with DLD After Dark. Also, PewMongous. We're here to get all PewMongous in your face.
Yeah, we're just gonna just pew among us all over your face.
We're just
So,
gonna just pull that mofo out.
all right. And as you guys know, we have a 20 something second delay, so we're gonna be checking the chats on both sides, on mine and Dark's channel. We are still streaming on both of our channels right now. Sorry for a little bit late. We're just running a little bit behind tonight.
It was me.
Well, I wasn't gonna throw you under the bus. Like, you never know. It could be
I'll do
me
it.
too. So
No, they know it was me. All of them know it was me.
All right, brother. So what are we talking about tonight? We try and cover a
Tonight?
lot of stuff. So, what is the gun we're covering tonight?
This is quite possibly one of the most, I was going to say infamous, but really one of the most famous series of handguns, which is the Beretta 92 series of handguns. And this ranges from the Beretta 92S. I mean, you could go back to the 1954 Beretta Brigadier if you wanted to,
Oh,
but
such
I
an
mean,
awesome gun.
yeah.
Such
You know it's a dope handgun when you literally have to strip the mag out with your thumb, ejecting the European
yeah.
the heel style magazine. So the 92S, the 92FS, the M9A1, the of course the 96, the M9A1, M9A3, M9A4. There's several different variations. Of course, there's the
The
Vertex,
the
the Elite,
Enox, the
yeah,
the
yeah.
the RX, the
hmm
you name it.
There's
There's
lots of them.
there's
And
so
lots of
many.
them that failed like miserably, like the Vertec. Now the grip angle of the Vertec stuck because people are like, whoa, that's the way guns are supposed to be shaped. But the other ones, the big old pregnant bellies, we have a couple donor guns here from my personal collection that we'll show off in a little bit here as well. But the Beretta 92 series, one of the most famous pistols when it comes to film, features, movies. And
I
you
was
know
gonna
what?
say, yeah, the Beretta 92 has shown up in pretty much every 80s action movie you can think of. If you've seen any 80s action movie with a gun, that's usually the handgun that they have.
Yeah, and even though it was like so popular, even all through the 90s with everything from Die Hard and all the lethal weapons, there was like probably 11 lethal weapons. Even though that gun was so, I mean, Point Break, like some of the like the biggest like box office thrillers. When people are going to think this is a movie podcast, even like these huge movies, this gun was not that popular amongst like folks on the streets, right? Most people on the street get Glocks and Jennings and High Points and Bursas and I'm just keeping it real, right? And I'm thinking to myself like, how
Jimenez.
come? Yeah, like how come there's not as many Berettas on the street like there are Glocks and other guns and Tori, right? Tauruses. Um, and it's like, oh, because it's like $700.
Yep, yep.
That's
Uh,
probably why.
yeah, and I think it's a gun that's definitely worth, depending on the variant, it's worth the price. But as you guys know, we start this podcast off as always. I always give you some straight facts about the gun. So the Beretta 92 was designed and began production in 1976. Many variants include several calibers, which continue to be used to present day with attachable magazines between 10, 15, 17, 18, 20, 30, and 32 round magazines. Those things are like unobtainium. Well, not unobtainium, but they're pretty hard to come by. I find more like
The 20s are
aftermarket.
dope.
Yeah, the 20s are dope, but the 30s I've only seen a few in my entire time. But
I
the
do
straight
have a Beretta Factory 30 in the other room.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the straight facts and or specs of the Beretta 92 is usually this is going off of the bare bones 92 FS. Um, the MSRP for about $800. They come with a standard capacity magazine of 15 rounds. It's a double single action pistol with an overall height of 5.4 inches, overall width of 1.5 inches. Like I said, it's a semi automatic handgun with an overall length of 8.5 inches, a barrel length of 4.9. It is considered a full size handgun, and weight unloaded is 33.3 ounces. It is obviously a hammer fired gun as well, but those are the specs. Let's get into it. So
Yeah.
the 92 went into production in 1976. I was still swimming around the old man's sack at that point. I was not even a thought in his mind. So I think the 92. There's so many things. It's considered one of the top 5 Wonder Nines of the 80s. It's in that same class of like a SIG 226, a CZ75, a Ruger P85, those hammer fire double single action guns. What do you think is what really? Every time I've shot a Beretta, they're some of the most accurate handguns ever made.
Yeah,
what is up with the Italians making these amazing guns?
So, I think the Italians do this often with things like vehicle. Now, they don't always do it, right? But sometimes they do it. I think they look at everything that's on the market, and they probably, I would guess, they collectively ask like, okay, we have all these guns that do all these things that are shaped this way, that look this way, that have, lines this way, that are aesthetically pleasing in this way, but they suck this way, they suck these ways. You can't do shit, you can't hit shit with it, the sights suck, the grips suck. I mean, even though they did basically make the grip of the 92s 92FS, M9A1, M9A, all those, like the non-vertex style, they basically made it like a reverse pregnant woman. Like the belly on that thing is like ridiculous.
That's how you infuriate half the internet, saying this looks like a pregnant woman.
Yeah, well, and it's got a little baby bump, but you guys know I am
I was gonna say, what you're the only one. You're the only one out of our crew that actually has Berettas, unless John. Well, John probably does have one, but
he is a 92S, which is dope. This is you see how it has
I love that straight.
Yeah, dude, this thing is awesome. I actually have another set of VZ grips for it, and this is an excellent suppressor host. I would actually turn the laser on and show you, but you can see
laser.
Yeah, this is currently on the IR setting. Did I just give myself LASIK? I turned it off. All right. But I think what they do is they literally look at a gun and they're like, okay, what needs to be changed? What are the things that need to be changed and removed and altered from some of the more popular firearms on the market? Like you said, the SIG 226, the 229, the Glock. At that point, the Glock was like a brick in your hand.
Yeah, that when you hold a Beretta, and I've always said the Beretta 92 is one of the most ergonomic handguns you'll ever hold and you'll ever shoot. I love shooting Berettas. It's just I've never got the chance to like actually shoot one, and like I've never got a chance to own one because it's just they did command kind of a hefty price tag. And
yeah, this look, I mean, the new ones, the M9A3s and the M9A4s, those things are a G stack. They're $1,000. And look, I mean, the only reason that I ended up getting this is, first off, I found it for like $839, and it had 16 magazines with it. And
what?
Yes, it had 16 magazines with it. Oh, and funny thing, I don't know if the folks out there saw, I posted a short on YouTube about this Beretta, and I was like, because I only have, at the time, one Beretta, now two Berettas. Um, like the question was, how many mags is like too much for a firearm, especially if you only got one or two of them. And I had like, I don't know, 26, 27 mags, something like that. Well, funny thing, when I was digging around my closet in my gun room yesterday, I found another stash of Beretta mags, and I was like, dang it, I could have had like, nearly 40 mags to drop there. But so I got a crazy deal on this one. It was like 839. It came with 16 magazines. It came with a really gay Olight and a
Super gay.
so gay. Like I immediately removed the batteries and I put it in a steel box because I was like, this thing is gonna blow up. How do I
I
put
tossed
something
my
else in it?
Olight away one time, and I'm like, I'm gonna feel bad for the guy that, like, at the trash compactor facility when they like bring it in. I'm like, what if that sets the whole thing on fire? Yeah,
It just blows up.
it's like. I mean, I just want to be clear of that, but so that's a pretty good deal, though. Was this a gun broker deal, like a
It
private
was.
sale?
It was a gun broker deal, and what sealed the deal is, so first I bought this one privately for, I think, 450, and the dude was trying to talk me up like more and more and more and more. I think cuz these can be had for well below the MSRP of
Yeah,
ridiculous
you
amounts,
could
right?
get. The good thing is too, guys, is that the Beretta 92 is literally one of the most popular police pistols next to Glocks. So
Yeah.
you could probably get a Beretta 92 from AIM surplus for a LEO trade in,
Yeah.
and you're getting a good gun that was probably been really maintained, just holster wear,
Yeah.
and you can get them well south of maybe $500, depending on how many they have.
Yeah.
I do want to recognize some people in the chat. I see
Yeah.
Rumble Vulcan out there. What's going on, dude? He says,
My guy, what up?
talk to Rich about Florida gun shows. Yes, I know. We got to do a gun show video. Christy Turtell's out in the chat. What is up, my dear? Thank you for joining. I'm surprised you haven't been in bed yet, but she says, Happy Father's Day, Dark. And
Thank
then
you. Thank you.
Barentos, which is actually Randy reviews it on YouTube and Instagram. He's saying Langdon
Nice.
Tactical or bust.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of great stuff that you could do at home. If no, I'm kidding. Look, they are great, and they make incredible 92s, M9A1s. Their slides are like just crazy.
Yep.
Honestly, look, if I had the equipment to match it, so I run this. Of course, I didn't grab the holsters. I run this in a Safariland Ranger QLS holster. It's an SLS holster with the QLS system on it. And if I could, um, I don't know if they even make a Beretta um, holster that works in conjunction with a red dot, like an RDS Safariland. I know, of course, they have the M9A4, which certainly does accept, um, you know, uh, plates for a red dot. But man, I don't know. I would probably run this like on my gear, and I do at times when I'm going to the range because I cannot shoot my Glocks like I shoot my Berettas. That's just
It's a metal frame handgun,
yeah.
double single action. I'm guessing you're not shooting double action a whole lot, so that trigger is going to be a lot better than a traditional Glock, unless you have
Actually,
like a.
have you okay? So have you went up to an M9A3 or M9A4 and pulled the double action trigger,
Yes, yes.
dude? This is better than the Wilson Combat trigger kits that they were putting out like from
Oh,
the
really? You're
factory.
saying Wilson Combat isn't the end all be all?
Wilson Combat is pure junk. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm just trying to pretend like I have hot takes and piss people off. I promise I don't. No, there Wilson Combat is great. Like I was, helping friends and people that had and carried Berettas, tune their stuff with at least Wilson Combat springs and whatnot, if not doing the whole shebang.
Yeah.
But this thing, I mean, double action. This thing's got like it like
Yeah.
10-pound trigger, you know.
That's
I
why
think
I'm like, and that's the thing though. You're able to carry a Beretta. That's one of the golden points of having a Beretta. If you're going to
mhm,
carry it cocked and locked, you can decock it, and your first shot is going to be double action. So you're still
yep,
able to carry with one in the chamber, a heavy
yep,
trigger pull, plus you got the safety and all that good stuff.
mhm,
That this is what the pinnacle of firearms design was back in the day. And I do want to go into how the Beretta actually turned into the M9, which I have some stats here.
yeah.
So
Real quick before you do, I do want to just do a little sidestep and say that this is the G model. So
yes, it has a
when you load it,
specific, yeah.
yeah, so it decocks only, so you can't put this on safe. So you're just drawing double action, and then every follow-up shot is that crisp single action. And I mean, dude, it's this single action, it's crispy for a factory trigger. And the more you shoot it, you know, obviously the um, you know, smoother it gets. But this is an excellent gun, and it's an excellent suppressor host too. And if all my boys did not rock 9mm Glocks, I would be rolling with this thing in my kit. And that's why I have it set up to throw in my gun belt if I, you know, feel that it's
That's
appropriate.
another reason why I wanted to actually consider picking up a Beretta, like a Beretta RX optics ready tactical rail. I'm not the biggest fan of the M9A4, um,
Yeah.
for that simple reason of if I'm going to run a Beretta, I don't want, especially the G model, where
Yeah.
I don't want to have to worry about decocking it and not having the safety, because I'm used to when I run a gun like a 226, a Beretta, uh, a CZ75, I hit that. I work the safety
Yeah.
because that's something I'm so used to. Um,
Do you hit your knuckle or do you do full thumb to flick the safety? Like, do you
uh,
just rest your thumb knuckle on it or do you actually thumb it?
I
Because
thumb.
you thumb it. So it's kind of cool if you just grip it in the holster, like freaking dog hair everywhere. Sorry. As you bring it out, if you just literally just gently put the knuckle of your thumb on it, it allows you to maintain a firing grip. And if you just nudge it a little bit, it goes off.
Yep.
All safe. So yeah, just a little
I'm
side.
so used to just lifting my thumb up, and yeah, I could learn to knuckle it. I don't have one to practice with enough.
Yeah,
But I was considering picking that up for a suppressor host because I got that
I would love to
spray.
have an Inox. Honestly, I would carry an Inox every day, all day. And for the people out there, the M9A4 from for me personally, it wasn't out yet when I got the M9A3 anyway, but I probably wouldn't run a dot on it anyway. However, the magazines from the M9A4 are 18 plus 1. So you're rocking 19 rounds in. You could throw it in your 92 FS if you wanted to. Like, these magazines are all compatible. So the
That's something that
M9A3,
they did. They were smart in the later iterations. Is that they
mhm,
literally made it so they are backwards compatible.
yeah,
That's one thing I will give it to Beretta on is if say someone started with a 92 or 92 FS, whatever,
yeah,
and they got the A4, those A4 mags are going to work
yeah, yep.
because they don't have to get a whole new magazine system. Uh,
Mhm.
but as we're going into some of the history, I want to bring a little bit there with it. Um, Randy reviews it, or Barantos on my Rumble side is saying the G model is where it's at, and
Mm.
he says wish they made an LEM style trigger. No, I don't.
Uh,
I hate the LEM trigger
LEM
on HKs. That is the Randy. I'm sorry, buddy. I
trash.
love you, but that no. If someone's like, "Oh, would you like to try this?" No, I don't. I do not want to try this. The Beretta 92 in February of 1985, the U.S. Army officially adopted the Beretta 92F as the M9 pistol, despite the Army coming to the same conclusion as the Air Force had years before. The service pistol controversy only intensified. In 1988. It first made its debut on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, of all places, and the Sheriff's Department of over 16,000 uh, employees and 9,000 sworn deputies started in 1988 carrying the Beretta 92 FS as their sidearm of choice. So
And
relatively
they're
within,
still rocking.
yeah, some of them are still rocking it.
Mm-hmm.
Then what gives the only reason why it's if you and I've always asked this myself is what is the difference between the 92 FS and the M9, and the only difference is if you want a more tactical option to not designed for field use. So the 92 is the military designation for ergonomics and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for just regular 92 FS. So the 92, the M9 or the M9 A3, M9 A4, that's kind of where you get that straight back style. And the 92 has that more kind of sleek curvature of it. But yeah, so it was designed in it went in production in what, 1970? I said 1974, 1975.
76.
Okay, it was designed in 76. 10 years later, military adopts it. 3 years later, the first department in the country of Los Angeles, of all places, which is so strange. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's probably some type of back scratching deal. The interesting thing though, just real quick, the M9 is actually nearly exactly the same as the 92 FS. Same grip style, same body and all that, but it has the military designation markings on it. The M9A1 is the same thing, but they included a pick rail on it.
Yep.
And obviously the A3, A4. I don't think there was an A2. I've never. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But the A3, A4, they're the, like you said,
Yeah.
straight back, and then they have the accessory rail too.
Yeah, I always thought the M9 always had the accessory rail. I didn't know the M9A1. That's when that designation got the accessory rail.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the beauty of the Beretta 92 platform is, or the system, if you're going a little bit old school, nothing fancy style,
Mm-hmm.
The 92, it covers you have a wide variety of any type of need you as a shooter can have. If you're looking for a duty weapon, if you're looking for a target pistol, I know JJ Racaza, who is actually local to me, he actually shoots at Guncraft in Ruskin, Florida. That's his home range. His USPSA pistol is a Beretta Enox.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think he has his own JJ Racaza style, but it's one of those guns that people kind of.
By the way,
overlook.
shout out for sure, and probably because of its heft and all that. And a lot of people say, well, why would I get a Beretta? I can only put 16 bullets in it, 15 plus one. But there are a lot of other magazines, OEM Beretta made magazines that are, 17 plus one, 18 plus one. By the way, shout out to John Crump. I just saw a Rumble rant from Real John Crump for $1 that says Happy Father's Day and couch this week. I know, I remember. Thank you. I'll make sure to pick up the couches. Shout out to Crumpy.
Shout out to John Crump. I love you, buddy. I miss you so much. We all got to find a way to all hang out soon. We got to get a Team Uncool range day figured out where me, Crump, and Rich find a way to just go to the range for the day and just shoot guns all day.
That would be awesome.
I say we make that happen. So Crumpy, make that happen if you're still listening.
Yeah, set it up, Crump.
Yeah, you set it up. You do all the legwork. We'll show up.
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah.
But yeah, I think when it comes to the 92, it does serve so many purposes. Again, duty weapon, home defense, concealed carry, competition, just for somebody that just wants a gun a handgun that is relatively simple to use. Yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive, but again, you're able to pick up a handgun that's it doesn't take you long to figure out how to use. It fits that. Oh, does it have a safety notion to it? So people that are kind of newer to firearms, it has that. You can literally let that thing just out in the open and to all elements, and nothing's going to happen to it. I've never seen a Beretta really go down.
Yeah.
So and I've been lucky enough to shoot a few different types of Berettas, and not even just OEM Berettas from like their custom shop, but I have shot some Langdon Tactical. I've shot a Wilson Combat Beretta, and what is the other? I know there's another custom house that works on Berettas. I forget. But
They're smooth, man. I
yeah,
mean, you could cap ping pong balls with at 25 yards with that thing all day. They're just like stupid accurate. Like
oh yeah,
when people, put out a target at the indoor range at like 25 yards and they're like, "Oh, I'm so accurate with my Glock." And I'm not saying there are people that are just like crazy accurate with other handguns, but like instead of being like, "Man, I hit a headshot at 25 yards," I'm like, "Which tooth would you like me to target on the target at 25 yards?" You know? And yes, that is true. The difference between, I think it was Damian Christ said the difference between the Beretta M9 and the 92 FS is a straight dust cover, which, it's not a huge difference. I just looked it up. I have a picture right here, but like, it's not that
yeah.
big.
It's if it's a dust cover, I don't think I really need to show that.
Yeah.
But what are some things that you've noticed? Because you've worked in shops before. I've worked in shops for like 5 years, and you've seen people that but like what are like some funny like I have a few funny stories involving the Beretta M9 just because again it's such a popular pistol. Everybody or the Beretta 92, we'll go back and forth in designations, but I have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
funny stories involving an M9, which I think it's why I kind of love the gun. I don't have any like ill willings towards it. Like it's one of those guns where I'm like I think there's some things that could change, but the beauty about it is that Beretta has literally every single type of aesthetic and ergonomics into a different model of the 92. But like one of the stories I always like is so it was when I moved down to Florida. Walking back from the range, I was helping somebody out, I think, and
Mhm.
I'm walking back, and there's nobody in the pistol bay. And I see one person. So, when you walk down a pistol bay, you see those like steel beams that go across that kind of like hold the target.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm walking back, and I hear ping. Look over, someone's fucking shooting the ceiling, and I'm like,
Mm.
I took a step back, and I'm like, okay, let's see if this person does it again. And I kind of like peek my head around it, and my gun is okay. I have to demonstrate this. Hold on, keep talking for a second.
Okay. Shout out, we got Drew, you don't know me, real John Crump. What's up, brother? Uh who is John Gate? I don't know who John Gate is. Gloppy Force says DLD's chat is way better, but I'm biased, bro. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I got a voucher for an M1 Garand today. Now thinking about getting a Beretta instead. Wow, that's what's up. Sorry, go
Uh,
ahead.
yeah, sorry, hold on. Oh god damn it! Hold on. I have my Duck Dynasty playing in the background. All right, so this is my 365. It's not a Beretta. So you guys know how Berettas, it kind of comes up and it's straight. So
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
have to grab your hand on. All right. This woman who was very new to guns, she was holding it like this,
Oh my goodness.
and you can see the beaver tail on a Beretta.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah. It
picture
has
the
a
beaver tail.
very,
It was like,
very
yeah,
distinct.
real distinct. Her hand was nowhere to be seen in that cusp where you want the back of your hand. So she was literally holding it like,
Oh,
and I walked over and I was super polite because I could tell she had no idea what she was doing. I got
yeah.
her in the instruction class, but I was like, the amount of times I've been flagged by a Beretta 92 because
Yeah.
for some reason the community of FUDs and I would say the age bracket between the ages of 55 and 65.
Don't worry, it's not loaded.
Yeah, it's not loaded and it's always a Beretta 92. It's always a Beretta 92.
Yeah,
The amount of times I've been flagged is unholy. But
I think the interesting thing is that from all the guns that I've sold lawfully in a gun shop, let me just add that because the gay TF is always watching. The amount of firearms that I've sold in a gun shop, um, every single person that comes in and let's say they're like, "Hey, I want to get a Sig 226," right? They're usually like, I've been doing a lot of research into this. I've been looking into it. I went to a range. I used a rental gun and tested it out and blah, blah, blah. Or someone's like, I want to get a SIG 320 or a Ruger, P95 or a Glock 19X, whatever. They're usually like, I've done a lot of research, or my brother has one, or my friend carries that, or whatever, right? Almost every single person that I've ever sold a Beretta to, they usually say, what do you think they say?
Isn't that the gun from Die Hard?
I mean, basically, they're almost always like, "Man, ever since I saw that in Lethal Weapon, I've always
Oh,
wanted
okay,
one."
yeah.
Or every time I saw it in Rush Hour, or when I saw it in John Woo. John Woo actually was interviewed specifically about the Beretta, and they were like, "Why?" I guess it'd be more appropriate to hold this one. They were like, "Why do you always, choose the Beretta for your action movies?" And he's like, just the lines, the way it looks, the way it shows up on film, like The Matrix, dude. You cannot look at a Beretta this way without whispering to yourself, dodge this. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Oh, dude, the
Like,
second you say that, that scene comes right into my mind. It's like,
you
oh,
want to know
wow,
something crazy? Are you ready for me to blow your effing mind?
I'm ready.
Okay. When I said, angled it like this and said, dodge this, it came in your mind. What gun was she holding in that moment? Like right when she capped that agent?
The 92.
No.
Is this like a Mandela butterfly effect?
This is okay. When I heard this, I was like, first off, it was a Beretta 84 Cheetah.
Get the fuck out of here. I would
I
have.
swear, pull it up right now. You could see it on the image. It's like, what? You killed an agent that carries a 50 Action Express semi-auto handgun with the 380? Like
Yeah. Like
that's
you
like,
look at that, it's like you're automatically thinking that is a 92. It's
yeah,
Brand 92.
it looks like a 92, but then also there were the scenes where, Neo was walking through the facility with two
Yes.
Berettas, and you just see the lines on this thing are just beautiful. And I don't know if, like, man, like you said, the Italians, they have this thing with like the lines of the gun. Like, what does it look like?
Yeah.
What does it feel like? How does it flow? Same thing for like Lamborghinis and whatever,
Yeah,
Ferrari, whatever
Ferrari.
the
It's
yeah,
it's almost like
it
it's
flows.
sexual. Like
Yeah, yeah,
they want to
but
have this like curvy feel to it where it
yeah,
appeals, and it's a pretty sweet gun.
I think
Um,
they want to make an intimate relationship between some type of performance item, whether it's a firearm or a vehicle or whatever, and they do that and they do it very well, and they've upgraded well through the years. But man, it's hard to beat a Beretta, but, are they worth 700, 799? I've never paid that much for a Beretta. I would really like to carry an Inox. I think there's just something special about hard chrome, and if I had an Inox, I would literally carry that shit all day, and just because, like, I'm not, like, sitting on bundles of cash, um I would probably have to settle for like the 32 ACP Tomcat Inox
no,
because that shit's like
no,
still 500. Of course, I would never
no.
buy one, right? They're whack, and they usually don't work. Freaking blowback 32 ACP
Oh
for
my god, the
real.
flip top barrels. The most hated gun that
Yeah.
I have ever worked on. I hate working on those guns.
Have you seen
Um,
the Kale Slushy one?
no.
So they came out with a new one, 32 ACP, with this crazy looking OD green and anodized green.
Yes, I've seen it. Okay, yeah. The second you said OD green, yep, I've seen it, and I think it's optics ready too, where you can put like a Holosun 407K or something like that on there.
Oh, I don't know. I
I've
didn't
seen
even
them
look.
optics cut.
So they called that, it's literally called, like, on the factory sticker, it says kale slushy. So that tells you about who they're trying to market to. Douchebags and penny loafers with tucked in polos, you know? Oh, a 93R.
Oh my god, you should be a marketing director.
Dude, I mean, that's who they're looking for. Oh, have you seen my kale slushy, bro? Like, bro, what?
You should be the head of marketing for a major company. That's fucking awesome.
I may have done that before. But
Well, no, in like the gun industry.
yeah. Dude, grotesque, Damien Christ, he says 93R is my dream gun. But bro, dog, I can't even like believe that we forgot to bring up the 93R. The
Yes.
Beretta 93 Raffica
Yeah.
is quite possibly the coolest subgun / machine pistol in existence. What are your
You
thoughts
know,
on
there
that?
was only a few that were imported, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was only a few that were imported into the United States that were transferable.
Yeah. The
And
last one I saw was more expensive than the last M60 E4 that I saw sold.
yeah, like it's if
I think it
I
was like
could,
110 grand.
Jesus Christ, the stocks alone, like
Yeah.
I gotta talk to Walter and be like, why don't we produce like a replica of the Beretta 93R stock?
People have tried to uh, reproduce the 93R. Even there have been some people that tried to reproduce like an AOW with that fold down
Yeah.
grip, because it's a terrible little like sheet metal
Yeah.
on one little rivet right here, and it's just a little like grip that you can fold back up to the dust cover area. But like I mean, it's not really that useful, but like the stock though, oh,
Yeah.
that's just so sick.
I'm gonna talk to Walter. Gets back on Tuesday. I'm gonna talk to him because I feel like the Beretta nerds out there, if we could make it work with, say, a 92, a 92 FS, a 92S, and like an M9, I think
Yeah.
that might be like a. But then again, it's like, what do you do? Because you know why they're buying that stock. So like,
Well, I would actually do it, and this is probably also pretty stupid because way less people would purchase it, but I would literally sell it as a complete SBR. Get get a Beretta and make it look Raffica-esque. You'd probably have to use like an Elite 2 slide or something like that because they're funky looking, and because you can't really reproduce it. If we pull up a picture real quick and show
yeah,
it, I
I'm gonna
mean,
pull up a picture right now. Hold on one second.
if you can get a close up, man, those slides, they're completely different shaped. I mean, it's just it's totally different, you know? And man, they're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous firearms. And I've seen one in person in my
I've
entire
never seen
life.
one in person.
Guess
Uh,
where one is in Virginia that anyone can go see any day, all day. I
the
have never
NRA
wanted to.
Museum.
Yes, the NRA Museum on Waples Mill. I have never wanted to elbow a pane of glass like more in my
It's like that
life.
scene from Demolition Man where Wesley Snipes needs to get a gun.
Yeah, yep. I'm just like, yo, I want to push my elbow through that ish right now and just throw that in my jacket. Of course, I would never commit a felony
I'm trying to.
again.
Okay, come on. I don't care about
Uh,
this. Like,
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you too. Thank you.
yeah.
Virginia primary election day for U.S. Senate is on Tuesday. Vote. Yes, it is absolutely. Some dude made a 93R in titanium. What?
What?
Like the firearm was titanium? Was it functioning?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay, I got the
Beretta.
picture up. I got the picture up right here. Hold on one
Oh, you
second.
got it.
Yeah, it took me a second to find it. Damn Google Images, I tell you.
Oh, this is so cool with the 20 round mag, dude, and the ported barrel that's just like senseless. You know, it's like, why port it? Because Damn, this thing is gorgeous, man. It's one. Dang it,
There,
really?
there we go.
It's one of those guns that's like if there's a firearm that you could just never get, this is one of those things that like I would buy an airsoft version just to be able to touch something like it, you know.
Yeah,
See,
and that's the thing. I'm wondering if all Berettas have this attachment where if you could reproduce this stock, could it go on any Beretta backstrap?
so it would have to be some type of crazy. So, okay, if you disassemble a Beretta, the lanyard loop in the rear actually is tied into the mainspring hammer spring thing. I bet there's probably a way. I know I'm just using technical terms here, y'all. Mainspring hammer spring thing. Um, I bet there's probably a way to integrate. Maybe it's too flimsy. Who knows? There's probably a way to integrate it. Maybe with the grips, maybe with the lanyard loop, but there's got to be a way. Man, it is sexy. If I can still shoot these very well. If that trigger wasn't 10 to 12 pounds, I'd probably carry it more often. And I know, of course, I could improve it and do things, but why do things when I have the M9A3 right here?
Uh, yeah, exactly. I do see Flying Rich out in the chat. What's up, brother? He did say he's got he sent a Rumble rant. I'm guessing that's what it's called. Is that what a super chat is called on Rumble? You there?
I'm sorry, I was sitting here talking. It was on mute. Yes, I believe they are called Rumble Rants.
Flying Rich has a Rumble rant for $1. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It says Dark is the marketing director of a gun co? Question mark.
Of a gun co? Yeah, yes. Well, no,
Technically, you are.
I didn't. I mean, I guess technically DLD Hardware. It's not a gun company. All we need is the ATF being like, he said he owns a gun
Yeah, that's
company.
true. Yeah, we're not looking for that because
Yeah.
they're watching your ass.
Oh, they love me, man. And by
Yeah.
love, I mean they absolutely hate me. Damian Price, he says it's OD green. The one that I handled was like blued steel. It was.
I want the blued steel. I've never shot one. I've always
Yeah, I've
wanted to
never shot
shoot
one.
one. Um,
Just
yeah,
being able to be like wow 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 because it's 3-round burst. It's
yeah,
not full auto. It's
yeah.
just you know 5 pulls and you empty the magazine. You know.
I'm surprised they've never made a civil like you would think if Beretta and like I know we're this episode is meant for the Beretta 92 guys, but the 93R is a 92, but a machine gun.
Yeah.
This is like one of the cooler variants of like again, it has a massive effect on the industry. Where you say Beretta 92, a lot of people automatically think the 92, the 93R. It was designed for that gun was specifically designed for police and military. Like it was designed for a specific purpose, but at the same time, it's let's throw this up here.
Yeah, so this one, I just want to add one thing. If you look, oh, I can't zoom in on it. If you look very closely at the slide, it is slightly differently shaped and it's a little taller.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it was just maybe over engineered for, you know,
it probably had to be over engineered for 3-round burst.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, this. I mean, I don't know if this is a. Let's see. Yeah, no. I don't even know if this is a real one. It may be a real one, but that barrel porting is different than others that I've seen. But who knows? But yeah, see, it looks like something is. Yeah, it's got to be something connected to, in place of where the lanyard loop. Yeah. But it's slightly different. The 92 slide probably wouldn't function on a 93R, and vice versa. The 93R slide probably wouldn't function on a 92. The frame looks slightly different. Like it looks like the takedown latch maybe in a slightly different place. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. No, it's about the same distance. But either way, this thing is a unicorn. If you're ever in Virginia, man, you got to go to the Fairfax NRA Museum. I mean, F the NRA, right? But you got to go by and take a look at that thing because it is gorgeous. But it's an outstanding. The Beretta in general is an outstanding firearm. When they went to military usage, all the guys loved them. There were a lot of dudes that were like, "But my 1911," But man, it's a great firearm.
Yeah. So as we're winding down here, what are some things that it sounds like we're literally just like circle jerking the 92 because we both are fans of the 92. It's no secret. What are some things that you wish they changed, or maybe they did change depending on the model?
So I mean, looking at the gun, the trigger is horrendous, right? It is an abhorrent. It's just the double action trigger is a joke. Single action trigger is better, and compared to a lot of other triggers, like compared to a single action 1911 trigger, obviously most 1911s are single action, but compared to a 1911 trigger, and it's a joke, right? It's a very very flat, jerky, just I mean the brake is flat, like it's not like creep slowly release glass rod brakes, like that's a 1911 trigger. This is like it's not breaking, it's not breaking, it's not broken. It's like what then so I mean, is it manageable, is it usable? Absolutely, but the trigger, they should have improved that. It's not like trigger improvements are just of this after the year 2000. I mean, the 1911 trigger and many other single action, like the Sig 210 trigger. Oh, dude, they could have done so many other things. Clearly, they weren't focused on that. If they put a little bit more focus into the guts of the gun instead of the appearance of it, I think they would have done some better things. I would have liked to see, even though all the magazines work with everything, I would like to see more of these mags because I know a bunch of dudes that have 92Ss, which are it's the predecessor of the 92FS, which has it's not a heel release, it's a lower left side grip button release. I would like to see that, like, why don't all Beretta 92, M9, M9A3, whatever, or like at least the 92 mags come with a cut in the bottom for the 92S as well? Because somebody like Crump and other dudes that I know that have 92Ss, it'd be dope if all the mags were cut for both. I've seen some like that, but not many. Also, grip angle, grip angle, grip angle, trigger, sights. And why after, like, I'm talking like in 2010, they're still making a gun that you can't even replace the freaking sights. It's like, dude, come on, really?
That is that. Okay, I will go on my wish they could. Is the Beretta 92 is one of those guns that the rear sight you can replace most of the time, but the front sight, depending on the model, if you're like new to firearms and you're like, oh, I found this used in the used cabinet, and you want to upgrade to like a tritium front sight or something like that, there's no effing way you're doing that.
Yep.
Best way you can do is tape that slide off and white out that shit.
But with the M9, M9A1, yes, and you're right. Aside from like white out and nail polish, you're screwed.
Yeah, like that's one thing that always bothered me. But then again, back in the 80s, there wasn't tritium night sights back in the 80s. Like it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I don't mind the double action. I mean, if you could probably add some Wolf springs or Wilson Combat springs and lighten up the double action. All right, whatever, cool. I don't really give a shit about that. The sights, that's one of my big things. And another thing is the price. For me to get the model I want is right now. Most of the guns I'm going to buy, now that I have a 9mm suppressor, I want it to have a threaded barrel. I want it to have suppressor height sights. I want it to be optics ready because I'm getting old and my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. And I shoot better with a dot than, if I shoot a 1911, I'm going to shoot that, flawlessly because I'm so good at shooting them. But at the same time, like I want it to become with a dot and I want to have an accessory 1913 pick rail. So a Beretta 92 RX, which is kind of what I'm looking at, and it has that M9A4 straight back. It doesn't have, as you eloquently put it, the baby bump.
Yeah,
that gun is $950. If
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know, it's the price needs to come down, man. Like,
Yeah, they
what
make
the
you pay
fuck?
for it. Like I was thinking, like, man, prior to the M9A3, I would have loved to see Beretta, send stuff out from the factory in, brushed chrome with threaded barrels, and like the Inox, they'll do this gorgeous brushed chrome. And I don't know if a lot of people out there, when you're like balls deep into Beretta stuff, there was a time when even on the Inox pistols, they stopped doing brush chrome appointments or controls.
Yep.
So even though you drop all this money on an Inox, the safety, trigger, hammer, takedown, all the controls are black. And you're like, bro, what the? So the old ones, though, will have brush chrome appointments, controls, whatever you want to call them. And they're beautiful. But then they put red goo in the sights. I'm like, "Oh, cool. So you melted red plastic in them. Awesome." Like, and yeah, Ogretesk said, let's see, Brigadier has a front sight that can be replaced. Yeah, there are other models that you can just knock out the sights and install, tritium
Yeah.
front sights. But if they did some things, and I'm not talking about now, right? Because obviously, you go get an M9, A3, or A4, and you have a gun that's, you know, a great suppressor host, threaded barrel, tritium front and rear sights, steel tritium sights. You have, a better grip angle, improved grips. The grips are way thinner, so the profile of the gun is, great. I would love to see an OD green one. You know what I'm saying? But
I would just like to see an all black model if they
well, no,
got
they
one.
they do. They
Oh,
have.
of the A4.
Yeah, I think it's the same designation. It may be a different designation, but then a lot of the other ones, I think, was it the RX that you
Yeah,
said?
that's the one I'm looking at. Yeah,
I think that one is single action only, isn't it?
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's just a little funky. Like, if you train with Berettas, and you're drawing a Beretta, and it's double, single, 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 like that's what you kind of train your brain with. And then when you go to reholster, you drop your hammer first, so every time you're drawing, because like with the SLS, for an example, uh, you can't lock the SLS holster unless your hammer's down. You can't lock it with the hammer up. You can't even lock the SLS if you keep it at half cock. Well, it's kind of more like quarter cock, but and that does lighten up the trigger a little bit too. I would assume that that's safe to carry it like that, but I don't carry it like that. It's just a thought. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'd like to see some other changes too. But
I
here
just
we are.
the prices that I get there. You're paying for good quality, and Beretta has always been good quality. You look at Beretta 90, yeah. You look at even their shotguns like
Yeah.
Silver Pigeons, Golden Pigeons, M4s, M2s,
Hmm.
M3s, the Vinci series, which is a lesser known, talked about the
Yeah.
1301 tacticals. Like, it's quality. So
Yeah.
obviously quality is going to demand a price, but in today's day and age, I don't know if it's just price of material. That's
It's their
that's the
factory.
biggest. Yeah, that's what
They
I'm.
they have they're one of two almost completely robotic factories
Mm.
on the world, and on the world in the world. And I think you pay for it, but sorry, I didn't even complete my whole thought last time. What I was all that I was saying, to have all that and not be $1,000. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So I'm with
exactly.
you. I'm with you on that.
And that's what's always kind of like stopped me from buying a Beretta. I've always wanted one for the collection, and I do really enjoy shooting them. They're really fun guns. It's just that price. That's why that's like me getting into like an optics ready VP9, which
Hmm.
is probably can go toe to toe with the ergonomics of a Beretta 92. I'm just not dropping 850 on or 950 on a VP9 optics ready. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And you find the VP9s, on like crazy super sale for like 559, 599, but they're never the optics ready one.
it's
And it's
not the
like,
optics ready. It's not even the night sight version. It's
yeah,
the bare bones VP9. And if you
yeah,
want to get an optics ready slide, it's full $100.
yeah. It's like, dude, if If I get a VP9, I'm running a dot on that mofo.
Oh, 100%. It's such an
Yeah.
amazing guy. Ironically, Christy is the one person that I've ever met that's shot the VP9 is like, I hate this gun.
Really?
Yeah, she came up when I right before I moved down. She came up to Mass, and when I was working at Cape Gunworks, and she was like, "Oh, do you care if I go on the range?" I'm like, "Dude, go shoot." And I talked to the guys. I'm like, "Hey, she wants to shoot." Well, she filled out the waiver and all that bull crap.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Do you have a gun?" They're like, "No." And I was like, "She's like, I'm thinking about buying a new handgun though. What do you think?" And they were all VP9 fans.
Mm.
And she looked at me and she's like, "Do you think a VP9 would be good?" I'm like, "Well, go try it out. That's the good thing about having this rental wall. Hey,
Yep.
knock it out. Whatever."
Yeah.
And she went on the range and she's like, "I hate this gun."
Was it like the XL grip swell or grip?
I don't know what grip swell they had on it. That gun, that range gun in particular, she shot had recorded over 100,000 rounds on it.
Wow. Okay.
And it never had to go. It never had a single issue.
Never been
Um,
cleaned.
no, I cleaned. They cleaned the what out of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
No
she's the
kidding.
only person I know that shot a VP9 isn't like, wow,
And
this is a
didn't
great
like
gun.
it.
Yeah,
I
it's just it didn't work for her. So
Yeah. I
uh,
do love those guns. I love the grips, and I know we're not here to talk about the VP9,
I
but
know we'll have another episode on the VP9, but
yeah,
the ergonomically though. And when it comes down to it, the pricing of everything, that's another reason why I haven't bought one of those yet, too, is
yep,
because the
yep.
price. And that's my biggest thing when it comes to any gun is okay,
Where do
I
you
know
where do you
what
go for the?
I know what I'm looking for in a gun.
Mm-hmm.
What's the price? Brass tacks.
Yeah,
What am I walking out the door with?
yep. And when you can get a dagger, like I got my dagger, which is 15 plus one.
Mm.
Obviously, you can, throw you know, uh, one of the candy bars in it, but like 15 plus one for 250, $300. What are the benefits that I am receiving so great that they're worth 4 times that amount? And
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I bought the M9A3, right? So that it
Yeah,
was
yeah. So it's definitely worth it. I know at the end of both these shows, we always are like, okay, is it a go? Do you think you would recommend it? What is it? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
yeah,
It's pretty apparent that both of us are going to say, yeah, no, this is a 100% go. Like, let's get, this is a great gun. Definitely grab it. It's just,
yeah,
I wish they could come out with a version. Like, if they could just, I would be willing to be like, dude, I don't care about the accessory rail. Like, if you could come out with an optics ready 92 for under around 650, I'd be like, oh, I'm all about it.
See, the rail is like a light's like mandatory if you're going to run it on your kit. It's I do love having that, but yeah, I mean, if we're looking like it is it a go or a no? I mean, it's definitely a go. But like you're saying, if you're budgeting 850 to 1050 for a pistol, um, definitely go out and shoot it first. Like see if you can get your hands on one either at a rental spot, or if a buddy has one, get your hands on it, shoot it. If you fall in love with it, if you can shoot it, if it's way more accurate than than you are, then yeah. Like the reason I got it is because I can't shoot my other guns like I shoot that.
Yeah.
But also it's not like my go-to. Like if shit hits the fan, I'm not loading up my kit with Beretta mags. Like I'm running my
Well,
Glocks
you got
because
enough to load your kit up with Beretta mags, it seems like.
I do. But
Shit,
those
you should get one of those Beretta CXP.
the CX4 Storms.
Yeah, CX4 Storm. It's compatible, so you'd have that perfect pair.
I had one actually, and man, that was years ago, and that thing was like a laser beam, dude.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Crazy accurate. But when I got it, the dude either didn't know, misspoke, lied, whatever, and he said that they were compatible with 92 and 92 FS mags, M9 mags. It was a Beretta Cougar magazine compatible CX4s, or I'm sorry, no, the PX4 Storm.
Yeah.
It was something. I was like I'm never gonna get a PX4 Storms.
PX4s are pretty cool guns. I shot I shot a Lincoln Tactical one, and they're actually pretty cool.
They're cool. I couldn't. It's one of those things like when you look at a gun and you're like, I couldn't picture that being mine. Someone else has one, dope. If I got to pick one up in the heat of a terrible situation, dope. I can do it. I can run it, and but I couldn't like look at a Beretta PX4 Storm and be like, this is mine. I love it. I'll carry it. I don't know, but I will say when I watched Leonardo DiCaprio, since we're talking about movies, roll around with a suppressed PX4 Storm and 45 ACP, catching the brass out of it as he busted off shots in that movie Inception. Yo,
I've never seen Inception.
What?
Nah. I've watched a lot of Leo DiCaprio movies. Like, I'm a Leo fan. I've never seen Inception.
You got to watch it like tonight before you go to bed.
I'm not gonna watch Inception before I go to bed tonight.
I know you're not. I know, but you should. It's everything from like drama to action to like it's everything. And there's Berettas in the movie too, which is dope. But the dude, because it's a dream world, right? The dude just all of a sudden like poof has a Scar 17S with a effing grenade launcher on it. I'm like, whoa, like that's so cool. And of course he has an Elcan Spectre optic on it. I'm like, God, man, why can't I have this? Anyway, yeah.
But the CX4, and that's one thing we forgot to bring up, is that you can have a perfect pair with a CX4 that takes Beretta 92 mags.
You can also have a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 that takes Beretta 92 mags. They did some small batches of those.
Yeah, too. You can get multi-mag ones. It doesn't have to be small batches. You can get a multi-mag, and it gives you the whole kit from Kel-Tec. And
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, the Beretta ones are in there.
That's dope.
It's a big pain in the ass to change them out sometimes, but
yeah, I totally forgot they did that whole kit like before the this was before the new generation of them with threaded barrels and stuff.
Yeah, when I worked at Cape Gunworks, the Sub 2K was, I can imagine it's probably one of their best sellers because it takes clock mags, but at the same time, anybody has M&Ps. We could only get the multi mags because that's all we could get. Yeah, and they were still flying off the shelves. They were less money than what a designated Glock was because the Glock ones created a higher premium. But I think in conclusion, guys, if you're looking for a 92, it's a gun that I would 100% say buy. Yeah. It's not in my price bracket at the moment. If I had the chance to get a optics ready Beretta 92 and it was a good price, I 100% would jump at that opportunity.
Could you picture yourself like carrying it?
Oh yeah. I can shoot that gun very, very well. If I had a 226 Mark 23, I would Mark 25, Mark 23. I don't know.
Whatever it is.
You know what I'm talking about, the 226.
Yeah. I think it's the 25, but yeah.
The Mark 25. I'd carry that. I wouldn't care if I didn't have an optic on. I shoot the living daylights out of those guns.
So interesting thing. I know we're closing, but just real quick. It's a totally different feel carrying a Beretta. And I don't mean to like complain and bitch about stuff, but like when you carry a Glock, it's like, putting a bar of soap in your pants. Like it's like it's not there, right? Everything is super rounded.
That Beretta is there if you carry a Beretta.
It's very much there. And it's there in weight. It's there in pokey things. It's there in especially if you're jamming something like this in your waistband with that. This is currently my night vision pistol. And man, this thing is, it's awesome. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, dude. I would love to get a 92, and I would carry it. If I felt that I was that proficient with it. Yeah. I'd call Fat Tack up and be like, hey, give me a Fat Tack holster, Beretta 92, optics cut with a light.
Yeah. They're dope. If we're doing is it a go or a no? It's definitely a go.
Definitely a go.
You just gotta weigh your options, because if you're So like this one, like I said, this one I got for like 450, and I didn't even drop all the money at once. He was like, "Just give me $100 now and pay me the rest later." Like it was I would be dumb not to get it. And then this one, like I said, was a huge kit of this 16 mags. Obviously, all the M9A3 gear with it, an extra set of grips, a silly Olight Balder, whatever. I don't even use it, and then also a holster, and the holster was in uh cryptic.
Oh
So,
man,
so
I can imagine Jay Bell from Moody Bell Firearms right now is just like he's got like a chill going over his back, like good God.
cringing. Yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah.
So what? I think we have a couple fun episodes coming up. So for the people that are still
Yeah.
listening, I appreciate it. Make sure you're liking it. This will be posted on both of our channels. Flying Rich sent another Rumble rant. He said, "My good meat." Don't understand that, but
Oh,
thanks, buddy.
it's a story. One of his family, he made steak, and one of his family members choked on his steak, and then, as the family member was saying, I choked on a piece of Rich's good meat, and Rich is like, like he lost it.
Oh dear Lord, that's too
Yeah,
funny.
it like
Uh,
just happened 2 hours ago, by the way.
oh, it did. Oh
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
that's
but
funny.
they're
Oh,
okay. Everyone's okay. He was just
that's
throwing up
fun.
bile out of his nose because he couldn't breathe, but he's okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
For people that are still listening, we got a funny episode that I think we're going to do next week.
Yes,
Because you know it's the month of June, Dark.
it is. It's the month of June, so we
You know what
have
that you know what
to.
that means?
I do indeed. We must be prideful in our
Yes.
content.
Yeah. So next week is going to be Pride Month, guns,
Yes,
and might be offensive to some people. We're not meaning it offensive in the way you're thinking,
I do.
but no,
Oh,
I'm not trying to be offensive that way, but it's more just guns that are gay.
oh, I thought we were specifically trying to hurt people's feelings.
No, I'm not doing that. I know you
Oh,
want to
okay.
go
All
after
right.
a major online
Oh,
journalistic
no,
company, and
no.
I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And now you're like, oh, I want to hurt feelings. No, I don't want to hurt feelings. But we're just trying to talk
I
about
know. I don't
guns
want
that
to
are
go
gay.
after them. No, I know. Yeah, we're gonna talk about guns that are gay, and we mean gay as like the recreational usage of the word, like dumb, right?
Yeah,
Like,
like your parents chaperoning your senior prom, gay.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
gay.
you know,
That's gay.
like we're talking like the Taurus Curve, the Beretta
Gay.
Pico,
Gay.
yeah, just gay. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
uh,
The
22 Derringers.
yeah, gay. I don't think I have one of those. Or the Ruger LCR if it wasn't featured in Breaking Bad. Okay. If
I've
it wasn't
never,
featured in Breaking Bad.
yeah, or you know the Ruger LC9, just gay.
Sorry,
Like,
Rich.
sorry, Rich. Sorry, buddy. You know, we got. I'm gonna get a full list of guns. There will be a few Tauruses on there because Taurus made some stinkers. Not gonna lie.
The
Uh,
PT-145 Millennium held together
oh
by
my
a
god.
glorified paperclip.
Oh my god, that thing's the biggest piece of shit. Or the Kimber Solo.
Gay. Not like too stupid and terrible, but gay. Like
Oh
terrible timing. Like what were you thinking? Like that's the kind of thing we're talking
yeah, I'm
about.
gonna
Like
have a full list. So please make sure you guys tune in next Sunday at 9
yeah.
ish.
9?
It niner, and
Yeah.
then the week after that, we decided we're going to do the 43X.
Yeah.
So we're coming back to our Glock roots.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you could do me a favor, first of all, I need you to subscribe to DLD After Dark on YouTube, Rumble, and all forms of social media. I need you guys to check out DLD Hardware and get all your jigs and all your fun needs over at dldhardware.com.
Appreciate it.
Then I'm going to need you to go over to YouTube again. Subscribe to me, Shooting Gallery, on YouTube. You can check me out on Rumble How To, which is the new platform that I'm using for my tutorial videos. Check me out on X at the underscore real underscore SG1. I've been posting as much stuff as I can over that platform.
Nice.
But yeah. So Dark, you always are good at closing out shows. So I'm gonna leave that. That's gonna be your job on this podcast. You are the one that says the last word.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm gonna touch on one thing. Toy Town Inc., brother, I appreciate you. He said, "Do you need an LCR for the video or a Taurus PT25? I'll send both." That's
No, I don't. I don't.
yeah.
I'm good, bro. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that, Toy Town Inc. That's so thoughtful. Uh,
Yeah,
Neither of those guns. If any of those guns touches my safe, I'm done. Like I'm all
yeah,
set.
yeah.
Uh,
That's when we retire. Is
yeah, I will cancel my YouTube channel if either of those guns show up in my safe.
if you get a tip up barrel 25 ACP made by Taurus, I think you have so many other problems going on in your life at that point that it would be
But
the
again, and if Toy Town actually has this gun, in his defense, he lives in I know where he lives, the general
okay.
area.
Okay,
So
all
at the
right.
time, that might be the only thing because he has to deal with a handgun roster.
That's
I'm
fair.
not
That's
gonna.
fair. You know, I well, and also like it could have been a gift,
Yeah,
or
it could have
maybe
been, but
maybe he
I'm not gonna. I love Toy Town. He's always been so humble. I've actually met Toy
he's
Town in
awesome.
real life,
Oh, for
and
real,
yeah, I met
dude.
him in real life, and
You're
he's cool.
lucky.
Yeah, dude, Toy
Toy
Town's
Town's
cool as
awesome.
shit. He used to
Yeah.
come down to the Cape Gunworks and shoot, and I was like, he came up, and I'm like, he's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, uh, I'm Toy Town Inc. And I'm like, oh, what's up, dude?
Nice.
And I'm like, I was just like, because I was at the point where I was just like,
Who are you?
hey, can I help you? What's going
You
on?
follow
And then
me.
he said it, and we had a great conversation. Toy Town Inc. said, awesome, dude, love
Yeah,
him.
he's a great dude. He's been a viewer of mine for a long time, part of the community, yours as well. Like
Yep.
he's just a great dude, and I'm jealous that you were able to meet him. I was gonna say that he probably like found it magnet fishing, but I don't think it's magnetic.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't think
high
that's
point
magnetic.
high points aren't magnetic, right?
No, the
They're not.
ZMAC, yeah, that's not magnetic at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I know
So
Dave will probably hear this at some point and be like, yo, just want to make sure you better not put a C9 on the guns that are gay. And I'm like, no, I'm not
no,
actually.
we'll only put the $100 bill.
Grips, not the gun, just the $100 bill grips. But
Yeah, 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 you're right.
I mean, Tony Simon might say something different because he's got one of those problem solvers with the $100 bill
Dude,
grips.
if he's got to hang on to it, those things are selling for stupid money, man,
He's
because you
not
can't find
selling.
them anymore.
Yeah, he's not selling that. He's
Just
not.
to enrich your collection, you know, you don't actually sell them. But if they start making them again, then it's back to being an $89 yeet cannon, you know?
I still got to get a yeet cannon. But yeah,
Yeah.
Dark, you go ahead and close this
Yeah, sorry.
show out.
Look, guys, first off, I appreciate all you guys coming in and hanging out. It means so much that you guys are choosing to spend your time with us, coming in, commenting, and all that. And I'm grateful for it. Drew, my guy, I see you out there too. I appreciate you, bro. And I did send the package out. If you didn't get an email, I'll send it to you. But look, in the end, I want you guys to take a moment and think about what today is. Okay, today's Father's Day. And I know usually when I close the stream, I talk about be kind, live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. You know, make sure you're becoming as dangerous as you possibly can because in this crazy world, it's all those things are important. And we need to remember the people that are put here that we're blessed with to mold us. Okay. And not everyone's situation is different, right? Some people never had their father in their life. Some people had a father in their life. Some people had a father in their life for some period of time. And everyone's situation is unique and different. But regardless of your situation, I would encourage you guys and I would implore you to sit back and think about why it is important for an individual, a you know, could be a young girl or a young man, why it is important for them to have a father in their life and the important things that that individual you know, it like installs within you know, young growing mind. And if there's somebody in your life that you're grateful for, even if it's not your blood father, today, tonight, before you go to bed, before the clock strikes 12, I would encourage you guys to reach out to somebody that had a big positive impact on you, whether it's your father, your biological father, somebody who raised you, and just say, I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for you and I appreciate you on Father's Day. That's it. You could totally make someone's day, and then also all the other stuff that I say too, that too. So I love all y'all, and thank you. I went to go see my dad today. He's recovering in rehab, and he's kind of like psychologically slipping. He's not all there, which it sucks, man. I mean, this whole thing has taken a
Yeah.
lot out on him. So make sure that you guys express gratitude to the people that you have in your life if you're blessed enough to still have them with you. And that's it.
Well, that's a great note to add on. I'm glad your dad is doing better. He's always in our prayers. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys check out DLD After Dark. Please check out me, Shooting Gallery on YouTube. Subscribe to all of our channels. We're eventually going to get our own little PewMongous podcast channel. It'll probably be a lot easier for us when it comes to actually like putting the stream up. But we will see you next week for I expect to be a very anticipated show. Butts will be hurt. And we might get some hateful comments in the comment section.
But butts also hurt from sodomy.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Sorry.
I see what you're doing as I'm trying to close out. You say some kind of like, it's like Tony Simon calling me a colonizer a couple weeks ago.
Hey.
Yeah. He finds new ways to call me. It's just like really messed up stuff, but I love him to death. So, guys, thank you so much for watching the PewMongous Podcast. This was episode 5 on the Bird 92. We will be back next week, 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Rumble. And stay safe. Peace.
And keep a gun in your pants.
Yes, keep it in your pants.
Mm-hmm.